For departments to create a disposal request, they'll log into the application from this screen. And I'm going to use a temporary login just for demonstration purposes, but they could log in as through their LDAP system or just using their own email and password. And so we'll log in as the department, and we're a member of the Department of Accounting, as you can see in the top left here. The first thing they'll see is some prompts of things that may need to be done. And so this is an authorization. It's reminding somebody that it needs to be that a disposal request needs to be authorized, and something was reserved by another department. There's an incoming interdepartmental transfer, etc. And once they've completed any of those tasks, they can get rid of them so that the next time it won't show up on the list. So to create a disposal request, we're going to go to the disposal request screen right here, and we're going to click on the Add Edit button and click on New. And now we are logged in, as we know, as the Department of Accounting. We can choose the contact person for this particular disposal request in case there's any questions from the surplus department. We can choose the disposal type, and we're just going to do the turn into surplus in this little demo because there are several others. They're slightly different in the way that they're managed, but you can see those if we do a live demo with you at a later point. So here we got the pickup type. This is a request for the surplus property office to pick up. This is a self-delivery where they're going to take it themselves to the surplus department. And if it's a very heavy item, it might, for whatever reason, need to remain in the department. We'll do the surplus property pickup. Now here we're going to choose the location of the property because the surplus department needs to know where these items are. And these will be building names where this particular department has some premises. There could be many, of course, depending on how spread out that department is. They'll choose or enter the room number, and then they'll choose the category of item that they're going to dispose of. And I'm going to say it's a computer system, and as I type, you see it filters more and more of the categories that are available. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine this is an asset, and I've just got some demonstration asset numbers here for this purpose. And so if they type in an asset number right here, if we type in an asset number, then you'll see it'll bring up all of the information about that particular asset. This particular one doesn't have a serial number, but it actually does the same kind of search if you enter a serial number for an item. And the way this works is that we import each night from your asset management system those fields that are relevant to the disposal process, and so that these lookups are actually taking place locally in the surplus property database. So they can choose a condition code. They can enter a quantity. The default, of course, is 1. The estimated value is really used if they have some esoteric piece of equipment that the surplus guys probably wouldn't know what it was worth, and so to give a clue. These can be changed during the receiving process, so that if somebody puts in a computer is worth $10,000 and we know that we can only sell them for $25, then that can be changed at during the receiving or at any point that the surplus department has has use of the property. So it's an optional field. So this distribution account is the credit account that will be used if the department is to receive money back from the surplus property department once the item is sold. And they can have as many of these credit accounts as is necessary, and in fact they can even enter debit accounts into their profile so that when they go to purchase something from surplus they can use their debit account. So we've got the information on this one, and I don't happen to have a picture of a computer handy, so we're just going to go ahead and save the line item on this occasion. But imagine they had several of these computers. Then instead of having to do the whole lookup process again and the data entry process, they can click on clone last item, and everything will come up except the asset number. And so they would then enter the asset number, and if they knew it, of course, serial number and so on, and then go ahead and save that line item again. We'll do one more of these items, and of course they can put in as many items as they need to. They can list as many items as they need to. I'm going to imagine that we're going to dispose of a desk. And you'll notice that the description field has a red border around because it's required. And it's likely that departments won't put a very broad description here because they just won't do it. So if you're going to be promoting this online, for example, or even promoting it back to departments, you might want to amplify that description when you receive the property. The condition code is required, so we're going to select that one again. And on this occasion, I'm going to go and get a picture of a desk. So we'll browse out, and we've actually got 3 desks here. So let's go ahead and we'll choose all 3 of these. And the selection of desks doesn't have to be contiguous. It just happens that these are next to each other. But you can actually select images that are non-contiguous and go ahead and do this. So we'll click on Open, and then we can upload. If we needed to put a title, we can actually enter a title here. I won't put anything specific. And we can upload these images, and then they will then be associated with that item. And if we pop up the image, then we can browse through and see the details of the images. And we can go ahead and save that line item as a desk. So obviously we've made a mistake here because there are 3, so then we can click on this line item and it'll repopulate the information at the top, and then we can change this to the number 3 and save it again. So there's quite a lot of flexibility in helping them to get their list of items correct. Then finally what they'll do is they'll choose the person who is authorized to approve this, because you want to have an approval process at the department level. And if I choose Gordon Bennett, for example, you'll notice that I cannot authorize this. I'm not authorized to do it. If I click Save, Gordon Bennett will get an email asking him to log in and review this and confirm it. And of course, Gordon Bennett can delete items from here if there are things that should not be disposed of. But to show you the final step of the process, I'm going to just do a little cheat here, little workaround, and I'm going to choose Web RAS, because that's RAS Web is who we're logged in as. And so when we click on authorized, we can see that it is confirming that all the sensitive data, software, etc., has been removed from any data storage devices, that there's no hazardous material, that it's not federal property, and if it is federal property, that it's been cleared of. And of course, that can also be validated in the asset lookup process, and then reminds them that after it's been authorized, it can't be edited. So when we click on yes, then that process is finished. If they are doing a self-delivery, or even if they want a record for their own purposes, they can pop up the little printable version and print it out for their own purposes. So that's how easy it is for departments to create disposal requests.